Hey guys, ScriptJ1958 here, coming at you with another deck profile. Today we're going to be doing our Ojama ABCs. This is a fun deck that I've been goofing off with for a while, ever since Dark Saviors came out, giving us the Ojama support, making this possible. I'm going to show you the deck profile. This isn't the most competitive deck, but it is definitely a fun goof-off deck. Take it to your locals and just kind of mess with people. There are a few semi-competitive options that you can go with. But this is just kind of what I did, just to have a little bit of fun. But without further ado, let's get into the deck profile. So first we're going to start out with the monsters. We're going to go with 3A, now that it's back at 3. The deck was really hard to make work without 3A, but we got it back. Got 3B and 3C. So we're running the 9 machines. That is definitely important to make the boss monster here. And that's all of the machines we're running. And then we're going to get into the Ojama support. I'm running 3 blue. I'm thinking about switching this out with something else. I'm not 100% sure what yet. I may go completely cheeky and switch it out for Tan and the raccoon and maybe like an obedient schooled, just as like a starter. Blue is good just to get another name on field, but since it has to be destroyed by battle and there's a lot of spot removal nowadays, it's not as good as it used to be. So a lot of times if I'm getting it onto the field, it's just have another name to go into one of my link plays. So it's not as good as it used to be, but there are some options that I may switch out with. Probably the MVP of the deck is red, because if you have him, you can special summon as many Ojamas as you can in your hand, and you can flood the field if you stack your hand right using some of the cards we'll go over in a little bit. You can flood the field, and I've actually ended with boards of Saryuja and 2 ABC Dragon Busters on the first turn, just stacking the hand and making things work with the different cards. So it's really good. I really like that card. You see it enough that you don't need to run it at 3, but it might not hurt. And then we're running 2 yellow, 2 green, and 2 black, or as I like to call him, President Ojama. I know that was stupid, but it makes me laugh, and anything that makes me laugh makes me happy. That's our Ojamas here. Decent lineup. And that's it for the monsters. Really, we're just trying to get into our link plays and our Dragon Busters as fast as possible. So to go along with that, we got 3 Union Hanger, which is a great field spell. I don't run Terraforming in the deck just because the field spell isn't necessary for a lot of the plays, but it does help start them if you do hard draw it or open it in your hand. But it's not something that I found is completely necessary, as to where if this was a pure ABC deck, it would be really necessary to get the plays going. But with all of the other starters that we have in the deck, it really is not needed as much as you'd think. But I do run it at 3 just because it is nice to see, and it is nice to kind of get stuff going. If you can't get your Ojama plays going, it gets your ABC plays going. And then I'm running 3 Ojama Assimilation. This one is you reveal a light fusion machine monster in your extra deck, and then you can banish Ojamas from your hand, field, and graveyard up to the number of material, and then summon those material. So usually I'll do something like summon red to bring out yellow, green, and black. Link all 4 of them up into Borreload or Saryuja. Or into Saryuja, sorry, not Borreload. Use the Saryuja effect to draw 4, put 3, and then I'll play this, banish the 3 out of the graveyard, summon A, B, and C, and then go into the ABC Buster Dragon from there, or Dragon Buster. And then you can shuffle the 3 that you banished back into the deck and draw 1 card, which is really nice. I also run 2 Ojamagic just to get yellow, green, and black in the hand. You do need them to make the combos go. And then I'm running 2 magnet reverse, just because if you do get into late game, it is nice to be able to bring back your Dragon Busters. And then just board wipes, Dark Hole, and Ojama Delta Hurricane. That actually rounds up the spells. And then for traps, I'm running 3 Ojama Pajama. This is kind of the main card you want in your opening hand, so you can get it going as fast as possible. You basically get to add 1 Ojama card. During your main phase, you add 1 Ojama card, and then discard a card. So you use it to add Oja Magic, discard Oja Magic, and then flood your hand with yellow, green, and black. If you already have Oja Magic in your hand, then you would add red, and then discard Oja Magic. So then you end up with red, and then yellow, green, and black. And that's a great, that'll be your second turn by that point, but that sets you up really well. Another good card that I put in here that I was a little skeptical at first, but then testing it, I realized it actually works really, really well, is 3 Torrential Tribute. Since you can banish from the graveyard to bring out Dragon Buster, it makes a lot of sense. Your opponent overcommits to a board, a well-timed Torrential Tribute can wipe them out, stop their plays in their tracks, they can't do anything. It goes to your turn, you have the 3 pieces in the graveyard, you bring out your Dragon Buster, and they really can't do a whole lot at that point. So I really like that. Great tech card. And the last card I have in here is just, when I originally built the deck, there were a lot of Mech Knights floating around, and so I thought they were going to be a little bit more difficult to deal with. So I put in Broken Line, and basically what it does is it negates a spell trap or monster effect in its same column. What I found is with decks that go into their extra deck a lot, if you actually set them in these 2 spaces directly behind the extra monster zone, you can actually stop cards from going off. Like I've used it to stop Totally Awesome's effect to negate. I've used it to stop Warlord's effect to steal. You can do all sorts of stuff with it if you place it right. So I found a lot more use other than just the Mech Knight matchup. But it is a pretty good card, and it is one of our negates. You could switch it out for more spot removal, like say Heavy Storm Duster or Twin Twister or something along that line. That takes care of the main deck. Let's get into the extra deck here. For starters, we are going to do 3 ABC Dragon Buster, the main boss monster of the deck. It's kind of unfair how easy this card is to bring out, since you can banish from the graveyard. It is one of the best boss monsters in the game, in my opinion, just because it is a 3000 beater. You can discard a card to banish a card, and then if it's threatened, you can just tag out, bring back your banished pieces, and then if they get sent to the graveyard, you just go back into them in your next turn. So it's really good boss monster. I really enjoy playing him. Run him at 3, max him out. And then let's go into our links. So I am missing 1 card. Just like in my Ninja video, I am missing Boral Sword. I have opened a ton of Cybernetic Horizon, but cannot get that card. So it would be a Boral Sword, a Borreload, and Saryuja Skuldred. I usually go into Skuldred just because it's a lot easier with the cards I have on the field, because a lot of times I'm going into it with a field of Ojamas, and since they're normal, you can't really go into Borreload or Boral Sword because you need effect monsters. Usually I'll do that combo off with Ojama Assimilation, bring out the 3 pieces, and then link off from there into a Borreload or a Boral Sword, and then banish the pieces to bring out the ABC Dragon Buster. And then I'm running Triple Burst Dragon. I really like this card. It basically has like a Utopia effect where things that activate in the damage step can't be activated, so it can stop a lot of things. And then one Trigate Wizard, I don't really go into him a lot. I'm sure there are other options that I could go into, and I'm kind of looking into making this deck a little bit better and seeing what I can do as far as the extra deck and maybe a few changes in the main deck. But this is what I got so far. And then an Akashic Magician just for the bounce, Cleafort Genius, and that rounds up the links. And then for Xyz, I go Baguska in case you need to stall. And then I do run Utopia package. And I like running the Utopia Ray in there as well, just because then I have 2 attacks where I can get up to 5,000 with lightning instead of just the 1. And then I also run a Ronin Raccoon just to get those tokens. If you can bring him out when you have some of your big beaters on the field, then the tokens become the same attack as those. So you can get it up pretty high. One of the things I want to test, and I do need to look at it a little bit more, is going into battle phase with the Boral Sword, attacking with the Boral Sword, and then going into main phase and detaching to get a token to see if that still keeps the power gain from Boral Sword. But I don't remember off the top of my head if Boral Sword keeps the attack until the end of the turn or the end of the battle phase. If you know off the top of your hand, leave it in the comments so I can know for sure. But if it does stay until the end of the turn, that could be kind of messed up to do to your opponent. It'd be a lot of fun just to beef up your Boral Sword and then throw down a Ronin Raccoon token that's crazy strong too. That rounds up the side or the extra deck. I don't have a side deck quite yet, just because this is kind of a casual deck that I have a lot of fun with. I want to do something a little bit different. Let's do a test hand real quick, just so I can kind of show you what this deck is capable of. So let me shuffle real quick here. Alright, let's do this test hand. Last little shuffle here. Then we'll give the deck a cut. And let's see what our first 5 cards are. Not bad so far. Okay, we opened with Ojama Pajama, which is very good. So now, what I would do is I would set blue and Ojama Pajama. And then on the opponent's turn, we activate Ojama Pajama, go into the deck, add Ojamagic to discard Ojamagic. When Ojamagic is discarded, we get to add a yellow, green, and a black from the deck to the hand. And this is all on the opponent's turn. And then we still have that blue down, so if blue gets destroyed by battle, then we can add red, Ojama Red, and Ojama Delta Hurricane if we need to, or even Ojama Simulation. This is our hand right now. So then it goes to our turn. And we draw for turn. We drew red. So at this point, what I would do is I would activate Ojama Pajama to add Ojama Simulation. And then we would discard C, normal summon red, to bring out black, green, and yellow. From there, I would link for 4, going into Saryusha. So use his effect to draw 4, put 3 at the bottom of the deck. Okay, let's put Ojama and Black and B back at the bottom of the deck. So that leaves us with that. So then we activate Ojama Assimilation, banishing from our graveyard yellow, green, and black. We want to keep at least one Ojama in our graveyard because Ojama Pajama's second effect is you can actually banish an Ojama from your graveyard to protect your light machine fusions. So from Ojama Assimilation, we bring out A, B, and C. Then we banish Ojama Assimilation to add the yellow, black, and green back to the deck and shuffle to draw 1 card. Cut and draw 1 card. 3 Tarantulas isn't that great, but assuming your blue didn't get destroyed, you reposition, link for 4, into Overload, then banish the A, B, and C from the graveyard to bring out an ABC Buster Dragon. Now you have discard targets with your torrentials. The Magnet Reverse will be good just in case something happens and you're not able to tag out with your ABC Dragon Buster. And you need to bring him back, or even if you do tag out with him, what you can do is you tag out, he goes to the graveyard, you tag out to bring back your banished pieces, and then on your next turn, banish those pieces again to bring out a second one, and then Magnet Reverse to bring back the one in the graveyard. But he's at 33, 33, and then the 28. So at this point, you discard to banish. You can attack to steal, and then attack, and I mean, that's already almost 6,000 damage just with those two. So as long as you steal something that's at least 1,200 or more, you got game. And that's just off of a couple of turns. And some of the other boards you can make, instead of going into Borreload, you could have gone into Boral Sword, and then if you had a monster in your hand, you use it to special summon, giving you a monster to switch to defense mode, and then Boral Sword OTK, still ending with ABC Dragon Buster. So there's a lot of versatility in it. The gameplay is pretty self-explanatory. You have contingency plans after contingency plans, and then you can end with a pretty strong board. It really just depends on your draws and what your opponent has to stop you. This deck can play through a few negations, but sometimes you just don't have enough resources. But either way, it still works. It's a lot of fun. But that's the test hand and the deck profile. Let me know what you guys think. Remember to like, subscribe, and share these videos. Let's keep growing this channel. Thank you guys so much for your support, and you guys have a great day.